of cycloconverter that we already learned in the lectures, today's lecture as well as in the last lecture. So in the today's experiment number 5, we try to simulate we already simulated the step down cycloconverter for different load condition and for different variable need. Clear? So here you can see the figure, circuit diagram of bridge type of configuration of cycloconverter. In the theory, we have learned two type of configuration. One is midpoint type of configuration, in which we have four thyristors, two for positive loop and two for negative loop. Where here in this bridge fashion or bridge type of cycloconverter, we have four positive thyristor P1, P2, P3, P4 and four negative thyristor N1, N2 and N3, N4. Okay. So here in this simulation, we only understand the operation of full bridge type of cycloconverter. Then for different load condition, R load, RL load for different value of alpha, 5 unit delay like alpha equal to 0, then after we take the alpha is equal to 30. Yeah. So in this practical, we try to simulate the four simulation. So first simulation, you can see the name cycloconverter R load alpha is 0. Okay. And this is for resisting load. So you can see here, take the resisting load 5 value. Supply is AC of 50 Hz. Supply voltage I taken here the 100 volt peak voltage. Frequency is 50 Hz. And here it is a step down type of the cycloconverter. I convert the output frequency F0 1 by 4th times Fs. 1 by 4th time Fs, it means that in this 4 cycle of your supply, you complete the 1 cycle of output side. Clear? So at the load side, you get the output voltage in 1 cycle for the 4 input cycle. So it is the 1 by 4th time Fs. Output frequency F0 is equal to 1 by 4 times Fs. Clear? So here I have already simulated the bridge fashion. You can see the 4 positive loop, 4 negative loop. In between that, I connect the resistive load. And across this resistive load, I measure the voltage by using this voltmeter. And in series, I put the emitter to measure the current. So you can see in the scope, I measure the 3 parameters. One is supply voltage. This measures the supply voltage, which is the 50 Hz 100 volt peak. Second is my output voltage, given by this voltmeter across the resistive load. And third one is the current flowing into this load resistance. Yeah. So main point thing is that main logic to simulate this step down cycloconverter is that first you decide the frequency, which frequency you require at the load side. Yes. So here we decide the frequency of output voltage is 1 by 4 times Fs. So based on that frequency, you provide the gate pulse to all these thyristors. Here. So as you know that 1 by 4 times Fs, the first 2 cycle of your supply, you get the positive output voltage, and the next 2 cycle of your supply, you get the negative output voltage. Here. So based on that, provide the gate pulse to all these thyristors. So first 2 cycles, you must come on the positive loop thyristor, P1, P2 and P3, P4, because it gives a positive output voltage, and the next 2 cycles, third and fourth, you turn on this negative loop thyristor, N1, N2 and N3, N4. So you get the negative cycle. So let's try to understand the logic which I have used here to provide the gate pulse to all these 8 thyristors. So here you can see that I use the 3 pulse generator, pulse generator 1, 2 and 3. In pulse generator 1, I take the amplitude 1 period of 10 millisecond, is period of half cycle, and pulse width is 50%, is 10 milliseconds, half time. I provide the gate pulse, and with the phase delay 0 degree. You can see that here I provide the phase delay 0 degree. Means from the 0 degree to 5 millisecond, I continuously provide the gate pulse. So the output is continuous gate pulse from 0 to 5 milliseconds. So it is 50% of your total period. Total period I have taken here 10 milliseconds. Yes, so half of this it is 5 milliseconds. 50% period pulse width is up to 5 milliseconds. Second pulse generator, I take the period 0.08 second is 80 milliseconds. This is the period of 4 cycles. Because here in the 4 cycle of input you get the 1 cycle. So I take the period for the second pulse generator. 4 cycle pulse width is 50% and phase delay is 0 second. It means that I provide the continuous gate pulse from 0 to 40 millisecond. It means 0 to 2 cycle. Clear? For the rest of the 2 cycle, the output is 0. Clear? So both this pulse generator 1 and 2 output is applied to the product. Cross product, it means multiplier operator. Clear? It means that whenever both this pulse generator output is 1, then you get the output 1 at the output side. If any one of the pulse generator output is 0, then you get the output 0. Clear? So you can see here the pulse generator one generate the pulse at every half cycle because you take the period of 10 milliseconds and then generate the gate pulse between 0 to 5 milliseconds. Clear? You will take the 50% of pulse width. Let's try to understand here by drawing the waveform. So I think you can easily understand it. So let's check here. Are you able to see this screen? So I will adjust it so you can clearly see it. Now are you able to see this here? Hello? Hello, are you able to see the screen? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So here for the 4th cycle of its supply, I require only 1 cycle. Here. So let's check here and do this waveform for this case so that we can understand clearly. All of you please check that you can see this all this waveform or not. बदला देखा है already? Yes or no? So here I draw the 4th cycle of its supply. In this 4th cycle of supply, you get the output voltage 1 cycle. Clear? So that you can see that by pulse generator 1, I provide the gate pulse only half time of this half cycle. It means 0 to 5 milliseconds. Yes?
Screen blur આવે છે.
Sorry?
Blur આવે છે screen.
Check करो तो હવે. જો તો હવે કમ્પ્લીટ આવે છે. હેલો ચેક કરીને મને કહો બરાબર આવે છે.
ના સર હજી એમ જ છે.
1 minute. चेक करो तो लिखा है हेलो
યસ સર હવે આવે
આવે છે બધા દેખાય છે
યસ સર
okay now here our requirement is what to convert this f0 output frequency 1 by 4 times fs. Okay, so now you can see that in the pulse generator number 1, we provide the gate pulse from 0 to 5 milliseconds. This is the pulse generator 1 output. At every half cycle, we provide the gate pulse for first 5 milliseconds, like this way. We draw the gate pulse output of pulse generator number 1, that is like this way. Here, this is the logic we have used for pulse generator number 1. You can check in the simulation for pulse generator number 1. Now you can see here the amplitude is 1, period is 10 milliseconds, means half time of the supply. And pulse width is 50%. It is 50% of 10 milliseconds. It is 5 milliseconds. With phase delay 0. Here you can also write down like this. So phase delay 0, it means starting from 0 to 5 milliseconds, you get the continuous gate pulse. So at every 10 milliseconds, they generate the gate pulse. Here, it is like this way. You can see here. You can see this. This is the pulse generator 1 output. I will call it as IG1. Here, in the second pulse generator, IG2, we take the period of 4 cycles. Here we already draw the 4 cycle of the supply. So in that 4 cycle, we provide the pulse with 50%. Now let's check this in the simulation again. Pulse generator number 2, you can see here, period is 80 milliseconds. It means this is a period of 4 cycles. 20 milliseconds is a period of 1 cycle, so 80 milliseconds is 4 cycle period. Pulse width we taken is 50% of total period. The period is 80 milliseconds. So it means 0 to 40 milliseconds they provide the continuous gate pulse because we provide the phase delay 0 degree. And from 40 milliseconds to 80 milliseconds they provide the 0 output. Clear? So by this way we generate the gate pulse. Let's check here in the waveform, try to understand it so that you can get the clear idea. Now, second pulse generator output is looked at this way. Total out of 4 cycles, 1 and 2 cycles. In these 2 cycles, they provide the continuous gate pulse like this. And for the remaining 2 cycles, its output is 0. And you can see that both this pulse generator input is applied to the AND gate. So it means that this AND gate generates the output 1 only and only when both the input is 1. So you can check this here between 0 to 5 milliseconds only you get the gate pulse continuously. So that generates the gate pulse for positive to thyristor this time. Same way here for this time. Same way here for the negative. It means it is same like the IG1. But what is the problem? If you apply only IG1 here, IG1 provides the continuous gate pulse up to the 4 cycle. But we must provide the gate pulse to the positive group only up to 2 cycles. Because up to 2 cycles we require the positive voltage. Clear? After 2 cycles, in third and fourth cycle we require the negative voltage. So we turn on the negative group thyristor. Clear? So for that there is a different logic that we will see later on. So now we can check this here. Second pulse generator gives the output only up to 2 cycles. So it means that you get this gate pulse up to 2 cycles only. 4 half cycle, each half cycle you get the gate pulse. Yeah. So this gate pulse, first gate pulse, positive cycle of the thyristor, provide the P1 and P2. So it will turn on so that is the positive voltage. Negative cycle of supply, this gate pulse applied to P3 and P4. So it gives a positive voltage. Same way again, positive cycle of supply, again you give a positive voltage. So turn on P1 and P2 by this gate pulse, and again turn on P3 and P4. Now we can see that for the rest of the 2 cycle, IG2, pulse generator 2 output is 0. But for pulse generator 1 output is continuous. But as you know that logic is what? Whenever any one input is 0, what will happen? The output is 0. So it means that at the output of not multiplier operator, after 2 cycles you get the 0 like this. Here. So that same logic we use here in the simulation. If you check here in the simulation that see this pulse generator number 1, 10 millisecond period 50% with 0 delay, it means that is IG1. Gate pulse between 0 to 5 millisecond at every half cycle. And this is the pulse generator number 2, which gives the continuous output from 0 to 14 milliseconds, because you can see that pulse speed is 50% and period is 80 milliseconds. So half of time, that is 50 milliseconds, phase delay is 0, so that provides the continuous gate pulse from 0 to 14 milliseconds. And both this pulse generator output is applied to this product, and we get the output only and only 1 if both the input is 1. Clear? So here we will see that in the theory that we get the output 1 only and only in the first 2 cycles, and for the remaining 2 cycles we get the output 0. So you can see that this product output we applied to this positive group thyristor P1, P2 and P3, P4. Clear? But now question comes that why we applied the same gate pulse for all the 4 thyristors, because at that time only 2 thyristors will turn on. Clear? But as you know that during positive cycle of the supply, only P1 and P2 come into forward bias. Clear? So even if you apply the gate pulse to P3 and P4 during positive cycle of the supply, it will not start turn on because it is in the reverse bias case. Clear? So that's why even if you apply the gate pulse to P3 and P4 during the positive cycle of supply, only P1 and P2 will turn on because it is in forward bias. Exactly opposite during the negative cycle of your supply. If you apply the gate pulse to P1 and P2, it will not turn on because it is in reverse bias. So at that time only forward bias P3 and P4 come into forward bias and give the output voltage positive. Clear? So by this logic, you get the positive output voltage in first 2 cycles, and same way in the next 2 cycles you get the negative output voltage across the load. So provide the gate pulse to this negative group thyristor N1, N2 and N3, N4. Clear? So same logic we use here. Only difference is that same pulse generator 1 we use here. We generate the gate pulse at every half cycle of 50%. And second pulse generator number 3, we take the period 80 milliseconds, pulse with 50%, but the delay is 40 milliseconds. Clear? So it means that this gate pulse, this pulse generator generates the gate pulse after 40 milliseconds up to this 50% of this period. It means up to 80 milliseconds. Clear? So that whenever both this pulse generator 1 and 3 is multiplied by this product, the output of this product will apply to all these 4 negative group thyristors. Clear? So in this case, what will happen? Only and only third and fourth cycle of your supply, you get the gate pulse for all these 4 thyristors. So that it will give the negative output voltage across the load side. Now we can let's check the simulation result so that we can clearly get the idea about it. Now we can see this here. First 4 cycle of supply. First cycle this one, second, third and fourth. So in this 4 cycle of supply, you get the 1 cycle. You will see. First 2 cycle, you get the positive voltage, and next 2 cycle, third and fourth, you get the negative output voltage. So this positive voltage you get because of conduction of P1 and P2. This one, P1 and P2, it will give the positive voltage. And second half supply negative, but this positive that you get because of conduction of P3 and P4, because P3 P4 is come to forward bias with negative cycle of the supply. Clear? Same way again P1 P2 and P3 P4. Clear? So the first 2 cycles you get positive. Same way in the next 2 cycles, third and fourth, you get the negative output. Supply is positive, but you require negative voltage. So you can see here in the circuit diagram, your N1 and N2 thyristors come into forward bias for positive cycle of the supply. So you provide the gate pulse N1 and N2. You also provide the gate pulse at the same time to N3 and 4, but in the reverse bias mode, so it will not start turn on. Clear? So that's why only N1 and N2 is turn on during positive cycle of the supply, and during negative cycle N3 and 4 will turn on. So for the rest of the 2 cycles, you can see that you get the negative voltage. This gate pulse because of N1 and N2. This one is for N3 and 4, N1 and 2, and N3, like this. Same way for the next cycle, it is repeated again. You can see that this is up to 0.08 seconds. It means up to 4 cycle period. Clear? 80 millisecond. So in this 80 millisecond or 4 cycle of the supply, you get the output voltage. One cycle. So you can see that it is a step down frequency 1 by 4th time Fs. Clear? So if your supply frequency is 50 Hertz, so this frequency is how much? 50 by 4 Hertz. All of you understand this concept? Yes or no? Is there any doubt in the logic of pulse generator? Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay. So here you can see that the waveform of load current. Here we take the resistive load, so you can see the same of load current is as it is, like voltage. Just changes what magnitude. Here we take the peak voltage of supply voltage 100, so output voltage also 100, and we take the resistance values. How much? You check here. It is a 5. Okay, so 100 by 5. It is how much? 20 ampere. So 20 ampere peak voltage or peak current you get across the load. So you can see here this is the peak current. Here. And it is a sinusoidal shape, same as the output voltage, because these are resistive voltage and current in same phase. So this is a simulation of step down cycle converter, single phase to single phase, bridge type for resistive load and alpha 0. Here we take alpha 0. Clear? But suppose if you require that to control the magnitude of voltage, then you can also change the firing delay. So now let's see the next simulation. Same simulation, just to change the firing delay. Here we take the firing delay 30 degree. So in the pulse generator number 1, it is remaining as it is except the phase delay. Now we generate the gate pulse after omega t is equal to 30 degree. So you can see that here we provide the phase delay of 30 degree. So it means that pulse generator 1 provides the gate pulse after 30 degree. In pulse generator number 2, it is remain as it is, as we have seen for the alpha 0. And pulse generator number 3 is also remain as it is. Just to change the pulse generator 1, phase delay 30 degree. Clear? So when this pulse generator 1 output multiplied with the pulse generator 2, it generates the gate pulse after 30 degree. Clear? All other simulations values remain as it is, as we see in the previous simulation. Here again I take the 5 resistance and 50 Hertz 100 peak voltage supply. Again I convert the F0 output frequency 1 by 4 time Fs. Clear? And it is a step down cycle. So let's check the output voltage. So now we can see here in the simulation. Let's take only 2 cycles or 1 cycle of your output, 0.08 second. So you can get the clear idea. Okay. So now you can see here, you not get the full half cycle, you get the only output voltage from 30 degree to 5. Here at every half cycle, because you provide the firing delay 30 degree for all the 30 cycles. First 2 cycles of your supply, you get the positive P1, P2, P3, P4, P1, P2, and P3, P4. This is the voltage and this is the current. Okay? And same way in the negative cycle, N1, N2, N3, N4, N1, N1, N3. So if you want to change the frequency as well as the magnitude of the output voltage, then you change the firing delay of all the things. So depending upon the requirement of the voltage, you change the firing delay. Suppose if you require the output voltage half of your supply voltage, so select the alpha 90 degree. So you get the half of this cycle, half of this half cycle. Clear? So you get the this cycle only this. Okay. So based on the output voltage requirement and frequency, you can change the firing delay of the extra. So all of you clear this one? R load with firing delay. Is there any doubt? Yes or no? Is there any doubt to anyone?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Okay. Now third simulation is that we have already learned here in this today's lecture. RL load with firing delay step down cycle converter for discontinuous mode of operation. Discontinuous mode of operation means that the load current becomes 0 for particular period of time. It is not remain continuous. So that's why it is called as the discontinuous mode of operation. So as we have taken the RM load, I take the same value as we have taken during the lecture today morning. R is 10 ohm and L is 10 milliamp. So as you know that our firing delay we have taken here 30 degree, and if you calculate this for this value of R and L, the power factor angle phi 10 inverse XL by R, that is 17.3 degree. Okay, that we already calculated in this lecture. So it means that here your alpha is more than power factor angle. Clear? So for this condition, you get the discontinuous mode of operation of the load current. Here again the pulse generator is as it is. Pulse generator number 1 phase delay of 30 degree. Pulse generator number 1 period is 80 millisecond, 4 cycle, 50% pulse width and 0 phase delay. And third pulse generator is also as it is with phase delay 40 milliseconds. Yes. So here this output generated across this load measured by this wattmeter and current also be measured by this thing. So let's check the simulation result and understand the waveform. It is same like the theory or not. Now you can see here, observe this waveform and the waveform in blue today's lecture both are seen. Now you can see from alpha 30 degree, this P1 P2 is on. It is remain on up to this 5 plus 5. You can see here. At 5 plus 5, the current flowing from P1 P2 becomes 0. Clear? Because inductor after this 5 start discharging, and then after P1 P2 becomes off. So here your voltage becomes 0 at 5 plus 5 at this angle. Now you can see that the load current is also becomes 0 here. Your load current and thyristor current are same. So when P1 P2 current is 0, it means load current is 0 at this point. And after that, you can see the pi plus alpha is here. So pi plus phi and pi plus alpha in this duration, your load current is remain 0. So because of that, you not get the continuous load current. So that's why it is called as the discontinuous mode of operation of cyclic motor. So you get the discontinuous load current because your output voltage remains 0 for a particular period of time. Now at pi plus alpha here, again you turn on the P3 P4 to get the positive voltage, but it is still remain continuous conduction up to the 2 pi plus 5. So here you can see that it is up to 2 pi plus 5 and current becomes 0 at this point and remains 0 up to 2 pi plus alpha. Because at 2 pi plus alpha again P1 P2 will come here this range. Same repeated for the next up to the 2 cycle here. So after 4 pi here P3 P4 is continuous remain conducting up to this 4 pi plus 5. And after 4 pi plus alpha, here you require the negative output voltage. So you turn on the N1 N2 thyristor from the negative node. So again from here you get the negative voltage. This negative voltage is because of P3 P4, but this negative voltage is because of N1 N2. Now you can see the current is also 0 here, the voltage is 0. And after that you get the negative current because you get the negative voltage. So same thing is repeated for the next cycle. Here you can see that N1 N2 is remain continuous conduction up to this 5 pi plus 5. This is 5 pi and this is 5 pi plus 5. So here current 0, and then after it is remain 0 up to this point at 5 pi plus alpha. Here again your N3 N4 thyristor from the negative group start. Here. So this process is remain continuous up to the completion of 8 cycles. Here. So this is a simulation of for step down cycloconverter bridge type RL load for alpha 30 degree discontinuous mode of operation. So this discontinuous mode of operation you get when your alpha is greater than 5. Here alpha is 30 degree and your phi is 17.3 degree because you take the load R is 10 and L is 10 milliamp. So I think all of you understand this discontinuous mode of operation. Now, what is a continuous mode of operation? So that you get when your alpha firing and delay is less than a power factor angle. Clear? So in that case, we just change the magnitude of this inductor. So here you can see that I change the magnitude of inductance 0.03 Henry, means 30 millihenry. Means I will increase the value of inductance and decrease the value of resistance. So as you know, the equation of phi is equal to tan cos omega L divided by R. As the omega L increases, the value of power factor L is increasing. Or you can say that as you decrease the value of resistance, then the power factor L is increasing. The same thing I do here. Change the resistance from 10 to 5 and increase the value of inductance from 10 milliamp to 30 milliamp. So now my power factor angle becomes more than 30 degrees. If you calculate this value by this value, tan inverse XL by R, you get the power factor angle more than 30 degrees. Clear? So in this case, you get the continuous mode of operation of the thyristor. The gate pulse for same simulation as it is. Firing angle here is 30 degree for all the thyristor. RM load, but the condition is what? Alpha is less than 5. So now let's check the simulation result. So you can understand the waveform of this continuous mode of operation. See here at alpha, P1 P2 on, current start increasing gradually. After pi, still P1 P2 is continuous conducting up to the pi plus 5. But in this condition, your pi plus 5 is greater than pi plus alpha. Clear? So what will happen before the inductor discharges energy? The next thyristor P3 P4 is 5. You can see that pi plus alpha is reached here, but pi plus 5 is somewhat here because pi plus 5 is greater than pi plus alpha. Clear? So here pi plus alpha at 210 degree. When you fire this P3 and P4, so you can see that your load current is not completely discharged at this time. After pi, your load current is start decreasing. It is discharging, inductor is discharging, but it is not completely discharged. The reason is that the inductor not get the sufficient time. Why? Because here your pi plus 5 is here and pi plus alpha is here. So if you provide the sufficient time up to this pi plus 5 to this inductor to complete discharge, then current becomes 0 at this point, pi plus 5. But before that, here at pi plus alpha, you fire the next positive to thyristor P3 P4. So again, from this case, the current is flowing into the same direction. So again, your inductor is charged. So you can see that current will increase from this point when P3 P4 is start conducting. Clear? Same thing happen here at 2 pi plus alpha here. Again, your inductor is not completely discharged, and next time P1 P2 is again coming, so that current is continuously increasing from this point. Same thing here again happens. So it means that here your load current never becomes 0 in full half cycle of your output current. Clear? So that's why it is called as the continuous mode of load, because here your inductor not getting sufficient time to completely discharge. Before that, next thyristor is fired, so again it starts charging. Inductor starts charging, so that current is gradually increasing. It never reaches to the zero value. Zero value is clear. But after that, you can see that when you got the negative voltage, here N1 and P1 P2, P3 P4, P1 P1, P3 P4. P3 P4 is remain continue up to this 4 pi plus alpha. So this negative voltage you get from this point to this point, that is because of conduction of N3 and N4. Clear? This one. N3 and N4. Here P3 and P4. So after that, you can see that here there is a notch in the output voltage. This notch is because of the reason is that at 4 pi plus alpha at this point you fire the negative group thyristor M1. This way. And this negative group thyristor also gives the negative output voltage. So because of that, you get the small spike here. Because here there is a transition happens from conduction of P3 P4 to N1 N2. Clear? So this full negative cycle you get because of conduction of P3 P4 from this to this here, and from here to here to this point because of conduction of N1 and N2. And because of the negative voltage, you get the negative current. And same thing happen here, you get the continuous load current without zero because inductor has not sufficient time to complete discharge. Clear? So that's why it is called as a continuous mode of load current. Now let's see here clearly by seeing this simulation for more number of cycles. 0.2 second. Let's again run this simulation. Now you can check here clearly. So here you can see the 2.5 cycle of output voltage. This is a 1 cycle. This is 2 cycle. This is half cycle. Okay. And because I take the period of 0.2 second. Okay, so you get the total 12 cycle. This is the total 12 cycle of supply. You get the 2.5 cycle at the output side. Output voltage 1 cycle complete here, 2 cycle complete here, and this is half cycle. So I hope all of you have understand what is the difference between continuous load current operation and discontinuous load current operation for the same type of cycle converter. Just depend upon the value of firing and delay as well as the value of your RM load condition. So is there any doubt to anyone in this course simulation? Anyone?
सर
Yes.
આ કન્ટિન્યુઅસ મોડમાં સર 5 પ્લસ આલ્ફા પછી ફોર્સ કમ્પ્યુટેશન થાય
Sorry.
સર જ્યારે 5 પ્લસ આલ્ફા સુધી જે થાઇરિસ્ટર ચાલુ હોય ને ડિસ્ચાર્જ થતું હોય ઇન્ડક્ટર તારે તો પછી ડાયરેક્ટ બીજું થાઇરિસ્ટર ઓન થાય તો પછી ફોર્સ કમ્પ્યુટેશન કે
Yes, it is. It is because of the force computation your thyristor will become off. See here, you can see the simulation is clearly. Here you can see that okay, I am showing by the only 1 cycle, so you can get easily idea of 0.08 second. Yeah. Only 1 cycle at the output side. Okay, now we check here. Here T1 T2 is conducting. Okay, up to this point. Okay. Here this point is what pi plus alpha. Pi plus phi is here because pi plus phi is greater than pi plus alpha. Here, as you know that at every alpha degree, after zero crossing instant you turn on the new thyristor. So from this pi to alpha, it means here alpha is 30 degree, it means 210 degree provide the gate pulse to this next positive loop. It means P3 P4. Clear? So when P3 P4 is gated, it is already forward biased because negative cycle of supply is started. Understand? So when you provide the gate pulse as well as negative supply will start, so what will happen? It will start to flow in the positive direction. You can see the circuit diagram, so you can easily understand. Here your supply is now negative, okay, negative cycle. So P3 P4 come into forward bias because negative is connected with the cathode of P4 and positive is connected with the anode of P3. So at this time you already provide the gate pulse at this time pi plus alpha and it is in forward bias. So obviously your P3 P4 start conducting. Clear? Understand or not?
સર એની હું એમ સર
Yes.
એના પહેલા જે P2 સ્ટાર્ટ જે છે ને એ ફોર્સ કમ્પ્યુટેશન કરવું પડશે કે આ નેગેટિવ સપ્લાય લીધે નેચરલી કમ્પ્યુટેટ થઈ જશે
Yes. Very good question. Let's understand here clearly. See this here. What happened at pi plus alpha here? Let's see the waveform here. At this pi plus alpha here. Here, when P3 P4 start conducting. Now what is happened to the P1 P2? P1 P2 is already in conduction mode, just before the conduction of this P3 P4. But when you provide the gate pulse to P3 and P4 at pi plus alpha, what is the polarity of voltage here? Here it is negative, here it is positive. Here. So you can see here, this negative polarity is connected with the cathode of P4 and positive polarity that is connected with the anode of P3. Here P3 and P4 is conducting because it is gated. So this positive polarity of voltage because of conduction of P3 comes here at this point. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And what is this terminal? This is the cathode of P1. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This is the cathode terminal. Upper terminal is cathode terminal. At that point, positive terminal of your supply is come because of conduction of P3. You can see here. This positive terminal, because of conduction of P3, positive potential come at the cathode of P1, and this negative terminal is connected with what? Anode of P1. So it means that reverse supply voltage come at the P1. This means negative voltage. Reverse voltage come at the P1. So as you know that when reverse voltage come across P1, what will happen? It will turn off by force. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So because of that, whenever you provide the gate pulse P3, P4, so what happened here in the simulation? Let's check this. Whenever gate pulse is applied at this point of time to P3 and P4, at the same instant of time, the reverse voltage coming from the P1 and P2. P1 as well as P2. Let's check for the P2 also. This is a positive terminal which is connected at the cathode of P2. Clear? And P4 is conducting. So what happens? This negative terminal through this P4 that is connected with the anode of P2. Clear? So again P2 is also reverse bias. So both the P1 and P2 is coming to reverse bias or reverse voltage. So that because of the reverse voltage and this magnitude of reverse voltage is same as the supply, which is enough to forcefully turn off this both the thyristor. And that happened naturally because do not require any external computation. Because that happened naturally when the P3 and P4 is turned on, automatically P1 and P2 come into reverse bias. Clear? So here force computation happens but naturally happens. Understand? All of you?
Yes, sir.
Same thing happened
Yes,
here
sir.
for N1, N2 and N3 and N4. Here you can see the simulation. Here first N1 and N2 is turned on. Okay, up to this 5 plus 5 pi plus alpha up to this point. But at this instant your N3 N4 is start conducting because applying the gate pulse at this point of time. Before that here your N1 and N2 is conducting. But because of this gate pulse applied to N3 N4, it will start conducting. N3 N4 start conducting. So reverse voltage come across N1 and N2 simultaneously at the same time. You can check it. Here this is the positive voltage. Sorry, what is the supply voltage here? Yes, it is a positive voltage here. Here, after the positive voltage, negative voltage starts here. So supply voltage negative. So in this case, your N3 and N4 is in forward bias. N3 and N2, and you already provide the gate pulse at 5 pi plus alpha. So it will start coming. So you can see that this positive terminal, this is a positive terminal because negative cycle of supply. It is connected with the cathode of N2. Positive supply is connected with the cathode of N2, and negative terminal is connected with the anode of N2. So it means that both are N1 and N2 is reverse bias when N3 N4 is gated or gate pulse is happening. Same exactly happens when the next cycle when N1 and N2 is again come out. At this time N3 and N4 is coming to reverse bias. Clear? So this natural force computation happens because of that you don't require any external computation, external force computation in this circuit diagram. Understand? So we can call that this is a natural force commutated cyclocommuter. Understand all of it? Is there any doubt? Yes or no?
No, sir.
Is there any doubt to anyone? Will I get doubts in any of these four simulation? See, first simulation we see for R2 for alpha 0. Here. So you get this type of waveform. You get the full half cycle without any firing angle. But suppose if you require the voltage control, so for that you can change the firing angle and get the control voltage. So select the alpha based on the requirement of the output. Here in the simulation, we take the final angle alpha 30 degree. So in the next simulation, alpha 30 degree, load resistance is same R load, but we get the control output voltage because we change the alpha. Here 30 degree. We can change any firing angle. Suppose here if I use the 45 degree, so that again the voltage at the load side is lower than 30 degree firing angle. Let's check here. You can see this zero output voltage duration will increases. Yeah. So it means average output voltage decreases. So I take the 90 degree firing angle delay. So you get the 1/2 of your half cycle. You can see here. So depending upon the voltage requirement, control voltage requirement, the person select the firing angle delay. Yeah. Then after third simulation, we see this is the for RL load for alpha 30 degree and discontinuous mode. Discontinuous mode you get whenever your alpha firing angle delay is greater than power factor angle. So here we select the value of RL, which gives the power factor angle 17.3 degree and it gives the firing angle delay 30 degrees. So it means alpha is more than 5. So in that case, you get the continuous mode of operation of this step down cycle. Okay. Let's again check this simulation result. This is the result. You get the zero current. Because of that, it is called as the discontinuous mode of operation. Clear? And fourth one, that is a continuous mode. Here we increase the value of L and decrease the value of R. So we increase the value of power factor angle more than alpha. So in that case, you get the continuous mode of load current. So it is called as a continuous operation of load current. Okay. Let's again check simulation. This is the answer. So I hope all of you understand this step down cycle converter for different conditions. Is there a doubt to anyone? So here I stop this lab session. If you are not in doubt. I hope all of you understood this and try to please simulate by your own way and please submit the simulation before the next one. Okay.